Chapter 1. Making extra income via your blog. $1,000 is a pretty good extra income, wouldn't you say? Sponsored reviews works in two ways. You can create a profile of your blog to attract advertisers, or you can search for advertisers and bid on jobs. The ability to find your own customers is a favorite feature for many bloggers who go to sponsored reviews. Sponsored reviews pays publishers with PayPal every 2 weeks, and they reel ways on time with the payments. Some blog owners don't like that you are required to keep the review on your site forever. Truth be told, they should be glad to have the extra content. One other distraction for some bloggers is that in order to land any jobs worth doing, you will need at least a page rank of 3 on your blog. Blogvertise has been in business since 2006. Blogvertise declares their payment rate for new blogs/accounts is $4.25 per entry. Most fall in the range of $5, $15. They say that payout rates vary and are often based on the popularity, i.e., traffic of the blog. Traffic is measured by an independent third party. Payout, which can be made through PayPal, comes 30 days after your assigned task has been approved. In my research, I only found one person who claimed they were dissatisfied with Blogvertise. The complaint was that each time they called support, they had to talk to a different person. Compounding that frustration was that several times the answers conflicted with an earlier conversation. Link-worth products include text link ads, paid blog reviews, in-text links, in-content pay-per-click ads, rotating text ads, hosted content pages, article submission, directory submission, and many more. Bloggers who use link-worth for paid blog review say they like how easy it is to register and get their blogs accepted. Another plus that many like is the no minimum earnings for payment. In other words, even if you only earn $5.00 this month, you will be paid that $5.00. The most common complaint against link-worth is that the many advertising opportunities it offers can make navigating around the site difficult and confusing. ReviewMe pay a minimum of $20 and up to $200 for writing a review. The rules say that blog posts should be a minimum of 200 words, but the average accepted review is 300 words. One big plus for ReviewMe is that you are not obligated to write a positive opinion. You will still get paid for the review if it's negative. The above are just a few great sites to earn extra income from your blog. Profitable blogging. Even if the niche is small and obscure, it can still be extremely profitable and under-monetized with big potential. However, don't go making money with WordPress. 12 too small into sub-niches with absolutely no competition, because chances are there's not much money in them. Topics that are always popular and profitable are making money, relationships and dating, health and fitness. Niche research. Remember, people pay for solutions to their problems. It's really just as simple as finding out what your target market wants and giving it to them. Here's the 3-step process. 1. Identify your target market's problems. 2. Find solutions for their problems. 3. Give them your solutions to their problems. So, the first thing we need to do is to go out into your niche and do a little research. You should look for what kind of people they mostly are. Find your profitable blog. What are they most passionate about and why? What do they spend most of their time talking about and probably thinking about? In regards to this topic, what are their main concerns/problems? Making money with WordPress. 13. What are they currently doing to solve their problems? What can you do to offer a solution to these problems? The best places to go to find this information out is the places where your niche/target market hang out. Forums, popular websites, social sites, etc. Find forums in your niche. Do a search on Google for "your niche here forum," and if your niche is popular, there will be sure to be plenty of results. Sign yourself up for these forums and start interacting with your target market. Look through and study the most popular threads and find out what everyone is mostly talking about. You are sure to come across popular subtopics. Find out what are the most burning issues and problems in your niche that people are talking about. Find out what they are most passionate about. This is where the money is. If you're still unsure or want to cut to the chase, you could simply just straight out ask these questions on the forum, and you'll be sure to get some good ideas. Chapter 2. Choosing a profitable topic and angle. The very first step before setting up your blog is to choose your blog's topic or niche. With blogging, you want to go after the monster niches. You want to get involved in the niches that have massive amounts of traffic already. If there is already a ton of competition and traffic in the niche, that means that there is money in that niche. That also means that there are a ton of people who would be more than willing to write for your blog. List of the top niches: weight loss, pets, entertainment and celebrity gossip, finance, technology, business, travel, food, gaming. Try to choose something that is both something you're passionate about, or at least have some interest in, and something that's profitable blogging. Profitable, something that other people are passionate about and are willing to spend money on. Obviously, it's really important that you have some knowledge on your niche, so you know what you're talking about when making blog posts. If you are knowledgeable on your topic, visitors to your website will perceive you as an expert and someone they can go to for advice. The information you will be providing on your blog must be helpful and informative in order for you to build credibility and make money. People will only pay for information that is genuinely useful. However, in saying this, you don't actually have to be a qualified expert in your field, just as long as you know just a bit more than the average Joe. Even if you're unsure whether you're someone who can come across as being knowledgeable and credible in your niche, it's nothing a little research won't fix. So, the first thing you should do is think about your interests and what you are passionate about. Something that is a big industry that has a lot of money in it, e.g., health and fitness. Next, you will need to break this down into a subtopic. For example, the health and fitness niche are very profitable. However, it is swamped with competition, so you will want to narrow it down to a smaller sub-niche such as raw food diets or pilates for rock climbers, etc. Doing keyword research for your blog. Once you've found a popular target market that appears profitable and identified the key concerns and problems of that market, you will need to do a bit of keyword research. What we're looking for is a list of search terms that have high search volume and low competition. You still do want some amount of healthy competition, because that is a good indicator of the market's profitability. It means there are buyers in that niche. The best place to start is Google's keyword tool, https://AdWords. Google.com/select/keyword tool external. Now take your niche idea, and think about what kind of keywords people would be typing into Google search. Think about what words in particular have to do with problems or solutions in that niche. For example, if I was making a blog on raw food diets, I would type in things like raw food weight loss diet, raw food diet plan, lose weight raw food cleanse, raw food diet, raw food benefits. Next, enter these into Google's keyword tool. So, as you can see by the search results, this is a popular niche. However, don't worry too much about competition, because you've now narrowed your main niche, e.g., health and fitness, down to a sub-niche, e.g., raw food diets. Now, make a note of the best keywords you can find that have both high search terms and are highly relevant, because later on you'll need to try and incorporate them into the titles and content of your blog posts, so you can benefit from SEO. Chapter 3. Optimizing your blog for better results. When it comes to WordPress blogs, they are exceptionally easy to optimize. In fact, it should take less than 30 minutes to fully optimize and tweak your blog's default settings so that it will position itself well within the search engines. Here is a step-by-step guide to optimizing every blog you create to begin. Log into your WordPress admin panel and click on the Settings tab. Under General Settings, make sure that you enter in your blog title and tagline. For your blog title, do not just enter in your domain name, but instead focus on entering in keywords that relate to the theme of your blog, based on the content you intend to create. For example, if I was creating a blog that focused on the cake decorating niche, my blog title might be something like this: Wedding Cake Decorating Secret Techniques to Creating Gorgeous Wedding Cakes. Just the same, my tagline would also incorporate my keywords. Example: Wedding Cake Decorating Secrets. Under the Membership option, click both fields. Anyone can register, and user must be registered and logged in to comment. Then, click Save Changes. Next, click on the Writing tab to configure this area. Within the Writing section, you will want to add a list of blog ping services. Pinging your blog simply means that each time you update it, you are able to send an alert out to blog directories and news sites telling them that your blog has fresh content. Copy and paste the following ping service list into the text box at the very bottom of the Writing section's page. http://blogdb, jp/xmlrpc, http://bulkfeeds, net/rpc, http://corablog, org/ping/http://ping, blow, gs/http://ping, cockalog com/xmlrpc, http://ping, rootblog, com/rpc, php, http://ping, syndic8, com/xmlrpc, php, http://ping, weblogs, c/http://rcs, datasht, net/rpc2, http://rpc, blogrolling, com/pinger/http://rpc, pingomatic, com/http://rpc, technorati, com/rpc/ping, http://rpc, weblogs, com/rpc2, blog page titles. There are a few things to keep in mind when you are entering in titles for your blog posts and pages. Search engines like Google.com only show the first 70 characters of your title within search results, so be sure to include your most important keywords within each title, stripping away any extra words that you just don't need. Focus heavily on your primary keywords and make sure that your blog's page titles vary, so that each one contains a different set of keywords and phrases relevant to your niche market. Using meta tags. Meta tags are very important in ensuring that your blog ranks well within search engines. The all-in-one SEO pack plugin that we activated will make this exceptionally easy to do. From within your WordPress admin panel, click on Settings and look for the all-in-one SEO link. Click it to load its option page. Here you will be able to enter in the home title. If you want to use the main title that you entered earlier, just leave this blank and it will use your default blog title. A home description. Once your pages rank within the search engines, potential visitors will see your description and title. So be sure to enter in a detailed, relevant description about the subject matter of your blog. The tag plugin is available from http://code. Google. com/p/simple tags/ when creating content, including page titles, meta tags, and even category titles, be sure to always focus on including relevant keywords relating to your niche. To do this, create a keyword swipe file that includes a broad range of keywords that target your market. And do your best to always include a handful of keywords with every post or page you create. Search engines will place more weight on keyword phrases that appear within the first few lines of each individual blog page or post. So be sure to keep that in mind when constructing your categories and content, so that the most important keyword phrases are used at the beginning of the content. Creating killer content. Now that we've got the blog all set up and optimized for the search engines, we now have to create the main money-making attraction of our blog, great content. Here is where most people get overwhelmed. Keeping a blog filled with current content that is well-written and informative is both time-consuming and hard. No new content being produced on a daily basis will cause your traffic and income stats to drop like a rock. There are 4 main options that most people use when it comes to creating blog content: writing it yourself, outsourcing it, creating an auto-blogging system, or using PLR private label rights. Content. Writing your own blog posts. This is the best option when it comes to blogging. Creating blog posts yourself, which are unique and interesting, and show your personality, is a great way to gain credibility and customer interest. Ideally, you want to write all the blog posts yourself on hot and relevant topics to do with your niche. Making money with WordPress. Try to write posts that are helpful and entertaining to your reader. Once your visitors get to know you a bit better, you will gain a fan base of loyal readers who will also be willing to buy your products. The more helpful information and interest you provide, the easier it will be to sell to your visitors. And it won't even really feel like selling. All you will have to do is provide great info that really benefits your readers. Create a fan base, and then simply just mention a few products at the end of your posts or in your videos, and you will be amazed at how many people will actually click on your links and buys those products. Try to write in a style that is both authoritative yet personal. Tell stories, be entertaining, and yet also provide plenty of practical, useful info. Providing great quality information is key here. So that's why creating the blog posts yourself and adding a human element to them, your personality, is really the best option if you want to build a profitable, popular blog in the long term. Tip: some people say that for every fan, regular reader your blog gets, you will earn $1 off them a month on average. So, for example, if you get 1,000 true fans, you should get $1,000 a month from them, from things like affiliate commissions, AdSense revenue, product sales, etc. Using private label rights content, PLR. If you are short on time or writing isn't your forte, you could try using PLR articles for your blog posts. This is pre-written content, usually articles or ebooks, videos, almost anything that you can buy and get for free and can use as your own. Usually you'll pay a small fee for a license to a bunch of PLR articles that you can use however you like. To find PLR articles and content, search Google for your topic, followed by the words private label rights or PLR. Making money with WordPress. Raw food diets, private label rights articles, or raw food diets PLR. There is plenty of PLR out there on almost any subject you can imagine. However, since this is pre-written content that anyone can buy the rights to, I would suggest rewriting 25–30% of each article to try and make it unique and to avoid duplicate content. Chapter 4: Blog monetization strategies. Now that you have a website fully optimized, tweaked, and filled to the brim with relevant content, and you have begun to generate traffic to your website using free resources such as blog communities and social networks, it's time to transform your blog into a cash-generating machine. This is where it gets interesting. When it comes to making money with online blogs, there are many different opportunities available. Like regular websites, you could integrate Google AdSense or other advertising networks such as AdBright, or you could implement CPA offers from services like CPA Lead.com. But it doesn't stop there. As a blogger, you can make money by promoting affiliate products on your website, by growing a list that you can promote your own products and services to, and you can even make money by joining blog project databases, where you are paid for writing about new launches, providing feedback on company products, or in offering paid reviews for other new bloggers who are interested in gaining traffic from you. Of course, how much money you can make will ultimately depend on how much traffic you are able to generate to your website. The more traffic, the more lucrative your blog will be to potential paid sponsors. And of course, with consistent traffic, you can make money through commissions from affiliate products that are purchased through your referral. As someone who has been blogging for over 5 years, I always recommend to new bloggers that they focus on growing traffic before ever trying to monetize their blogs. You need to build a reputation within your market, generate as many backlinks as possible, and push your website out in front of as many potential prospects as possible before you focus on making money from your blog. You need a captive audience, a loyal following, and return visitors who find your website informative, useful, interesting, and worth returning to time and time again. Once you have solidified yourself within the blogging community, you can then take it a step further by implementing money-making strategies into all areas of your blog. But you need to lay the groundwork first and focus on generating a steady stream of traffic to your website. That being said, even from the birth of your website, there are a few things that you should do that can be monetized in the future. One of these things involves building a list. While you may have an RSS subscription option on your website, you need to take it a step further by implementing an autoresponder opt-in form on your site that captures your visitors' information and lets you stay in touch with your subscribers. By doing this, you are able to grow a relationship with your target market. And once you have developed that relationship, you can begin to make money with direct offers, affiliate products, and referrals even before your blog is generating a lot of traffic. To do this, you need 2 things. 1, CodeBanter's autoresponder plugin available free at http://www.codebanter.com. 2, an autoresponder account available at http://www.getresponse.com or http://www.auber.com. With these 2 resources, you will be able to start growing a list from the very first day that your website is developed. All you need to do is consider what subscription bait, also referred to as your opt-in bribe, you are going to use in order to motivate your visitors into becoming newsletter subscribers. The easiest way to do this is by purchasing rights to a high-quality report from places like http://www.contentgrab.com or in outsourcing the development of a free report or ebook from an experienced freelancer on websites such as http://www.elance.com. If you are capable of writing yourself, you could save yourself time and money by developing a short report that specifically caters to your blog's theme. You need to make sure that what you are offering is relevant to your topic. Once you have a report ready, you can log into your autoresponder account and create your welcome email, which is the introductory email automatically sent to each subscriber upon confirmation of their request to join your list. This email will thank them for subscribing and will include the download link to your report. Just like in monetizing your website, you need to first work to build a relationship with your list so that they trust your recommendations and look to you as a sound source of advice, tips, and information relating to the subjects that interest them. Spend some time engaging with your subscribers, offering them free material, information, tips, and resources that will help them. If you do this, it won't be long before you have a loyal following of people who will eagerly open up your emails, respond to your offers, and genuinely investigate the products that you promote. Affiliate links. The most popular affiliate programs out there for blogs are ClickBank, Commission Junction, Amazon, and eBay. A great way to integrate these into your blog is either through banners, ads, or reviews. When writing a review, make sure you include a description of the product, the benefits, the disadvantages. Don't leave this out because adding the negative points about a product will make your review more credible to your readers. How the product has helped you, and add your affiliate link to the site where they can buy the product. This is a great technique because it's pre-selling to your readers and will help to encourage a higher conversion rate. ClickBank, http://www. ClickBank.com. ClickBank sells only digital products such as video courses, ebooks, and software. You can find a huge range of products to promote, and it's very easy to do. Also, a lot of the payouts are 65%, 75%, and on average about $30. If you go to ClickBank's marketplace, you can sort the products by different criteria and categories. Commission Junction, http://www.cj.com. Commission Junction has a range of different affiliate programs for a range of products, both physical and digital. You can get paid for either a lead or a sale. Amazon, http://affiliate program. Amazon.com. Although Amazon doesn't pay as big of a commission as ClickBank and Commission Junction does, it is good at converting clicks to sales. Plus, there's a variety of ways they provide you with to advertise their products on your website, such as rotating widgets displaying lots of products, and Amazon stores that allow you to have a whole customized Amazon product store on your blog. eBay, http://www. eBay Partner Network. eBay is similar to Amazon and has a large range of products you can promote on your blog. They also have a pay-per-click program too. The ClickBank.com marketplace is filled with thousands of products that you can promote. It's free to set up a ClickBank.com affiliate account so you can begin exploring potential products and services instantly. Here is an overview of how to choose the best products for your niche. Visit http://www.clickbank.com and click on the marketplace link. Then, enter in keywords relating to your market in order to generate a page listing products and services that you can promote as a ClickBank affiliate. Whenever you view the details of any given offer, you will see stats located under each listing. One of these statistics is called gravity. The gravity rating in ClickBank.com is just an estimate of the most recent sales for a particular product. The higher the gravity rating, the more popular the product is among affiliates, since it appears that the product is receiving a large number of sales. When a product also has a high gravity rating, since sales are factored in, It means that the product is converting. That's the critical aspect of selecting a product to promote within ClickBank.com. You always want to ensure that the product you are promoting actually converts. Google AdSense ads. This is a form of advertising that involves full-text classified ads getting displayed on your websites or blog. Once you apply for the program and get approved, Google will display relevant AdSense ads on your website. How it works is that every time a visitor to your site clicks on one of the Google ads displayed on your blog, you will get a small commission. The average commission per click is about 20 cents, but it depends on how competitive the keywords used in the ads are. Advertisers will have to pay more money for more competitive keywords. These are usually the keywords for topics that are very profitable, such as making money online, insurance, credit cards, etc. More competitive keywords can cost up to $30 per click sometimes. With AdSense, you are paid for every click made to advertisements featured throughout your blog. It's free to join as an AdSense advertiser, and you are able to generate code that you simply copy and paste into your blog's pages that will feature advertising boxes from various merchants. To sign up, visit http://www.google.com/AdSense and create your account. Once you have it all set up, you will be able to customize the size and color scheme of your AdSense advertising boxes so that it blends well with your existing blog's theme. This is an easy way to start making money with your blog even with little traffic, because rather than selling directly to your target audience, you are simply making money each time they click on your ads, costing them nothing in the process. You earn money even if they never purchase anything from these external websites. You can also create campaigns within your AdSense account so that you can have a number of different advertisements across a network of blogs, which will give you the ability to determine what advertisements are converting and working well, and which ones may need to be tweaked to better perform. From personal experience, larger square ad boxes convert better, with the colors modified to blend well with your website. You don't want these advertisements to intrude on your visitors' experience navigating throughout your website, but instead focus on creating advertisements that fit well within your template and use a similar color scheme. Start with the 250 x 250 square ad boxes, the 300 x 250 medium size, if your blog's theme can accommodate it. Otherwise, the tower advertisements can be integrated into the side panels of most blog themes. The 728 x 90 leaderboard ad box is great for the upper portion of your blog's theme, right under the header, or at the very bottom, featured within the footer area of your website. Just be sure to avoid overloading your website with AdSense advertisement boxes. Remember that you want to provide your visitors with the most experience possible so that they return to your site frequently. Besides, if that isn't enough incentive to be careful about the number of ads that appear on your website, Google's terms of service state that you are not permitted to feature more than 3 advertisements on any given page. So be sure to review their restrictions and terms prior to integrating AdSense on your website. There is a free plugin available for WordPress that will help you integrate Google AdSense advertisements into your blog's pages. You can download it from http://www.wordpressmax.com/plugins/AdSense Deluxe. You will also want to create individual channels for each blog that you plan to feature AdSense on, so that you can determine what campaigns are working well and track the CTR of each advertisement. If you find that a particular ad isn't performing well, you can choose to change the placement, color scheme, or size of the ad. as well as the general channel, so that your advertisements are highly targeted to your audience. For those who are interested in participating in blog networks that pay you per assignment or project, there are many different opportunities available to even the newest blogger. Chapter 5: Traffic Generation Strategies. Generating traffic to blogs is a lot easier than regular static websites. This is partially due to the interaction and constant updating of content and information, which helps your search engine ranking, but also due to the many different blog communities that you can participate in exposing your website to prime, targeted traffic from fellow bloggers and those interested in your market. Since your blog is fully optimized for the search engines, you need to remember to consistently work to include your keyword phrases within your content so that you can subsequently continue to maintain your positioning in the search engines, as well as rank within directories, blog networks, and other sources of traffic for the keywords that are most definitive of your niche. Whenever I create a new blog, the first thing I do is join http://www.mybloglog.com and create an online profile that showcases my blog and announces it to the blogging community. With my blog log, you can easily add a widget to your website that will feature your recent visitors. And in return, by visiting other blogs, you will also appear within the navigation menus of blogs that have also integrated the My Blog Log tool. Not only will My Blog Log help you instantly generate traffic at no cost, but also it's a fun and interactive community to be a part of. You can explore competing blogs, conduct market research on what products are being featured and what topics are currently in demand, and generate a spring of ideas that will help you create the most targeted blog possible, so that you are able to retain visitors and consistently encourage new ones to explore your website. Blog commenting, a great way to get targeted visitors to your blog that will be interested in your content and products, is by leaving comments on other similar blogs in your niche with a link back to your blog in your comment or signature. Do a search on Google for other blogs in your niche that are relevant to your own blog, and try to find blogs that have a lot of traffic, a lot of activity, and are seen as somewhat as an authority in your niche. Try to engage constructively in the conversations and threads and offer useful advice. Try to help people the best you can. The more you positively contribute to forums and blogs, the more clicks you will get on your link back to your blog, and the more traffic you will get. Don't ever try to spam blogs by leaving comments of little value, like leaving one-liners like "great post." This will never work, and no one will even click on your link. Try to actively participate in the community and build up a bit of a reputation for helping people, and you will see a huge jump in your traffic. Submitting to directories. There are hundreds of directories out there that let you submit your blog to them for free. There are also some paid ones. This will not only help increase your traffic by people looking through the directories and finding your blog, but it will also help you to get backlinks to your blog. A lot of blog directories have a high page rank, and this in turn will help you to rank in the search engines. Doing this manually is very time-consuming and a bit tedious, so I recommend using a software tool such as Brad Cullen's free directory submitter http://directory-submitter. Wishlist. that will automatically do it for you. Pinging your blog. Pinging your blog will notify the search engines of your blog's content, since the search engines are always scanning the net trying to pick up any new content. By pinging your blog, you will speed up the process of getting all the pages of your blog indexed. There are also a lot of sites out there that publish any new content found on the web. By pinging your blog, You will also notify these sites of your new content. Here are a couple of free pinging sites to ping your blog on: http://www.pingamatic.com, http://www.justping.com, http://www.pingthatblog.com. Social bookmarking. If your social bookmark your blog, you will not only get more high PR backlinks, you will also get more traffic by people finding you on social bookmarking sites and visiting your site. Make sure to bookmark every single post you make. There are dozens of social bookmarking and Web 2.0 sites out there that you can submit your blog posts to. Doing this can be very time-consuming, so I suggest using some kind of software to automatically social bookmark your posts for you. Here are a couple of popular ones that are also free: http://www.onlywire.com, http://www.socialposter.com. Also remember, there's the plugin we talked about earlier that can automatically do submissions with OnlyWire.com every time you publish a new post. http://wordpress.org/extend/plugins/wp-onlywire-autoposter/. Article marketing. Article marketing is very popular and has always been a very effective way to not only get backlinks, but also traffics from interested readers. The key here is great quality content that leaves the reader wanting more. It's fairly easy to come up with new articles because you can just use material from the blog's posts you've written. Try to submit your articles to the top articles directories, but try not to double up on content. Try to rewrite your articles a bit to change it up and avoid duplicate content. Here's a few of the top article directories I recommend: http://www.ezenarticles.com, http://www.articlespace.com, http://www.suite101.com, http://www.buzzle.com, http://www.helium.com, http://www.articlesnetch.com, http://www.gordicles.com, http://www.articlely.com, http://www.articledashboard.com. Article writing tips. The headline is one of the most important parts of your article. Try to create a catchy headline that creates curiosity. Here are a few good ways to format your headline. Top 5 ways to. Using numbers. Would you dump your boyfriend for $100,000? Using questions. Discover the secret method too. Using words like discover secret, etc. Because submitting your articles to many articles directories at once can be very time-consuming and tedious, here's some free software that can help automate this process for you. http://articlesubmitter.com/. Video marketing. Video marketing can be one of the most effective and efficient ways to get traffic to your blog. Video blogging is incredibly popular right now, and people prefer to watch video over anything else. Reading articles. If you have a really good video that's both informative and entertaining, you could get hundreds of thousands of views. With so many people viewing your videos, you can be sure to expect a large amount of people then clicking on your link to your blog. And that's a ton of traffic. These days, people prefer not to read long-winded sales letter. They would rather just watch a sales video. The same is true with your blog posts. If you take the content wrote for your blog posts and turn each blog post into a short video, you will be able to upload your videos to video sites in no time. Plus, you can also embed them on your blog as well once you've uploaded them to YouTube. We covered that in the previous chapter on content. Videos are also great for backlinks too, because video sites are so popular and they have a high PR. You have 3 main options here for creating a video. 1. Use a flip cam and record yourself or someone else. 2. Record PowerPoint slides using Camtasia or the free version Cam Studio. 3. Using Animoto http://www. Animoto.com, which can create videos for you in minutes for free. All you need is to upload your own photos or put your own text in, pick the music and layout, and Animoto will do the rest. It's really easy. Chapter 6. The perfect blog to make money from. Effective blog writing. There are a number of ways to write good, effective blogs. Not all of them involve you actually sitting in front of a computer and writing blog posts every day. There are a ton of blogging services that can actually do it for you if you choose. Personally, I recommend creating a template and doing it yourself, but you can choose whichever strategy best fits you. The key points here are brevity, information type, target audience, and quality of content. Brevity, the secret ingredient. Brevity, or briefness, is something that many commercial blog posters take for granted, somewhere in their quest for the perfect keyword ratio and inserting the right amount of product links. They fail to realize they are writing mini-novels instead of regular old blog posts. The average blog post is between 150 and 500 words. Anything below 150 can probably be considered a microblog, and anything over 500 is really pushing your readers. This depends, of course, entirely on the subject matter of the blog. If you have a science blog, and you're discussing quantum physics or string theory, then you might legitimately have 500-word blog posts. Those types of intellectual discussions require a certain amount of explaining, and it's hard to write fluff for them. If your blog is about fashion trends, however, it's unlikely that you'll want to have extremely long posts. Visual cues. People in general do not have extremely large attention spans, especially when they're browsing content online. If your blog is visually a large block of text, many people will subconsciously find it insurmountable and avoid it because they don't want to read it. This is why it's good to keep your blog posts as short as you can. If you have a subject matter that requires a long post, then you can increase the likelihood of it being read by visually splitting up the blog post. You could separate it into 2 different posts for part 1 and part 2. If you separate it in just the right place, you can make each blog post stand on its own, and people will be intrigued to read the rest instead of afraid to try and read it all at once. Another thing you can do is adjust the spacing of your post. Use paragraphs and do a hard return after each one. If you have key points, use bullets. Try to keep your paragraphs at no more than 3-5 lines and avoid anything that looks like a large, rectangular block of text. What's the blog about? Keeping your blog on topic is extremely important, especially when we factor in search engine optimization. If your blog is all about editing videos, then you should expand on that topic, but don't wander off too far. Related subjects might be video editing software, editing techniques, effects training courses, cinematography books, and colleges that offer video-related degrees. Try to find between 3 and 5 related topics within your blog's niche and stick to them. If you constantly write about a certain subject and have a lot of link backs and proper keywords, you become a lot more likely to be considered an expert by the search engines. If your video editing site becomes popular, you could have prime spots in search engines for terms like video editing or special effects. This is also known as becoming an authority on a subject. The main benefit of exploiting your niche, aside from search results, is to become appealing to advertisers within that niche. If your website has first-page results on Google or Yahoo for video editing results, then you will be extremely desirable to any company who wants to advertise video editing products or services. Your value goes way up within your niche, and you can charge even more for advertising. You will also get a lot more affiliate purchases for products that have to do with a niche you are an authority of. People are more likely to buy a product if it's endorsed by a popular website that is considered an authority on the subject. You may not have to nicheify your content if you have an extremely popular blog. You still need to keep your blog within a slightly focuses section, but you can make it broader. For example, you could have a blog about visual art, and in that blog, you could discuss video editing, special effects, painting, drawing, and 3D art. Your possibilities are greatly expanded, but you still retain a major theme that all of your posts and updates will follow. This reduces your chances of becoming an authority on any particular subject, but it increased the variety of advertisers you have to choose from. Sometimes having many different advertisers can be better than having many from a single niche. For instance, if DVD sales are in a slump and your blog is about buying DVDs, then you will have much less advertisers. If your blog was about buying all types of media, then you could pick up the slack with advertisers from different companies like MP3 distributors or Blu-ray player manufacturers. What you sacrifice in niche sales, you make up in stability. A multifaceted blog is harder to start up and harder to get daily clicks, but the added stability gives you better growth potential and more longevity. Who is the blog for? This all plays into the target audience. Who exactly are you writing for? Knowing your target audience is absolutely essential if you want to get anything done with your blog. Some key points include their field of interest, their age, their gender, and their educational background. Field of interest. The first thing you have to consider is what your target audience is interested in. Your blog could be about DVDs in the general sense, but what readers are you targeting? Are you targeting people who want to buy DVDs, people who want to make DVDs, or people who want to read DVD reviews? You can choose all three if you like, and your blog can just be about everything DVD related. But you will probably get more return visits if you focus on one subcategory within your main topic. It's also a good idea to pick 2 or 3 topics that go especially well together. For example, your blog could focus on reviewing computer parts and where to buy the parts for cheap. This is a perfect combination because people who are buying computer parts generally want to see a review before they buy. Likewise, people seeking reviews are generally seeking to buy. In this way, you've taken your target audience's top 2 priorities and catered to them. What you want to avoid is posting off-topic with things that might fit into the broader category, but don't actually make sense within the context of your blog. If you're targeting people who want to see reviews for and purchase computer parts, then you really shouldn't have a random post about a new PC game. This fits within the broad category of computers, but it's unrelated to your actual blog. That's not to say you can't make off-topic posts. They just need to tie into your theme. Using our previous example, you might want to make a random post about a recall on a recently released computer part, or a post about the exact computer setup that a celebrity or other person of interest is using. It's good to introduce newsworthy items that relate to your blog, but aren't necessarily on topic, because they bring diversity to your pages. How old are they? It's never a good idea to discriminate or alienate a particular audience, but that doesn't mean you can't target a specific audience and optimize your blog for them. If your blog's topic is dealing with menopause, then your target audience is probably going to be women who are between 35 and 50, because they are the primary types of people who are affected by menopause. Bearing this in mind, you don't want to use a lot of internet lingo that's popular with teenagers today. Your readers are not going to take you seriously if you sound like one of their children or grandchildren. Instead, you should keep a mature tone and write with a slightly informal and empathetic voice. You can research other blogs that cater to your age range and see how writers focus their content to a particular group. Teens and young adults between 16 and 24 are generally people who grew up in an age where the personal computer was commonplace and relatively inexpensive. They understand internet slang and popular themes that get passed around on social networking websites. Adults ages 25-40 are generally more mature, if only slightly, and may or may not be familiar with internet slang, etc. This age group will have a higher income, and many people in this age group will have families. Adults ages 41-60 quite often have families and will not be impressed by internet slang or sites that aren't family-friendly. Of course, these are rather broad outlines. Your blog's niche market may be senior citizens who ride around in biker gangs. Anything's possible. You can do more extensive research on demographics and how to use them to your advantage for the best results. Does gender matter? In terms of marketing for a specific market, sometimes. Generally, the nuances that you'll adjust for gender differences are pretty subtle. There are a few instances where it makes all the difference. If your website is about buying the right prom dress, then your target audience is obviously women, specifically teenage girls only. That's not to say women are the only people buying prom dresses, but that is where the majority of your clicks and affiliate purchases will come from, and that's who you are targeting with your blog. Unless your blog is related to a gender-specific product, then you can pretty much decide for yourself if you want to market for a specific gender. Sometimes it makes sense to market for a particular gender. Video games, for example, are classically geared towards males in the 12-24 age group. This has been an industry standard for years, since research shows the most sales from that group. That being said, you might be alienating a whole market of potential readers and customers. In recent years, the video game industry has found that they've lost millions in sales due to advertising campaigns that were considered to be misogynistic. If you think that targeting a specific gender will increase sales, then go ahead. But the general rule of thumb is to try and create a blog that both genders can enjoy. Are they educated? Here's one that a lot of people overlook when they're thinking about their target audience. A blog is primarily just textual articles that people read, so it's essential that you don't confuse your readers with content they understand or offend them with content that's too simplified. So, what is the educational background of your target audience? Well, if your blog is about construction, then think about the requirements of the job. For entry-level positions, and even most management positions, you only need a GED or high school diploma. For some management positions, a person might need a degree in business or architecture. From here, we decide who our blog appeals to: upper management or entry-level and general worker positions. The purpose for this is to assess what knowledge they already possess. If you're targeting experienced construction workers, then you need to either avoid talking directly about the semantics of construction or carefully check all of your facts. You don't want them to notice any misinformation and stop taking your blog seriously. The other point of this is to deliver content that your audience will understand. Obviously, if your blog is about tips for getting your GED, then you're not going to want to write it with the prowess of a college English professor. Conversely, if your blog is about becoming a teacher, then you certainly don't want to oversimplify it or have any type of grammatical mistakes. People won't take your blog seriously if they feel it's below them, and they won't continue reading your blog if they can't understand it. You need to establish the educational level and background of your target audience and try to cater to it. When in doubt, take a conversational tone and type as though you normally speak. Make sure you don't have any grammatical mistakes and avoid using slang words and colloquialisms, a word that only has meaning in a particular region. As I just did, you can define certain words in parenthesis if you think they are words that aren't common or are often mistaken for other words. Content quality control. The quality of your blog content is one of the most crucial aspects of having a successful blog that draws in potential customers and clicks to make you money. If your blog is filled with inane or unorganized posts, you won't be able to maintain a user base. If your blog is filled with automated posts that don't feel human, you won't get indexed by search engines. And if your blog is just of an overall poor quality, you're not even going to get visitors. How you handle the quality of your blog depends on how much time you personally have to devote to it. The best way to control the content of your blog is to write it yourself. Nothing matches the freedom and control you have when your content is being generated by none other than you. And if something goes wrong, you only have yourself to blame. This is also the cheapest method of running your blog. If you're reading this book, I can only assume you want your blog to make money for you, and the best way to do that is to cut your costs as much as possible. Once your blog does become popular, you might find that it's actually beneficial and time-effective to hire someone to update your blog for you. This will probably be something that you freelance out to people on a weekly basis. It's not exactly something worth creating a part-time job for, and the costs of that would be astronomical. A good way to do this is to use a micro-project service like Amazon's Mechanical Turk service. This allows you to give out micro-projects where you pay a freelancer a small fee to write a single blog post. If you're keeping with my advice on brevity, then you should usually only need posts that are under 500 words, so you should be able to get those created for under $10 a piece, which is an absolute steal. If the subject matter or post permits it, you could separate a single blog post into 3 or 4 different 50-75-word micro-projects and pay as little as 50 cents a piece. Then you can pay another person a few cents to piece them together or do it yourself. As nice as that option is, you have to determine if your blog really requires it. If the time it takes you to post the jobs on a freelancing website, describe them, and then approve or deny them is going to take longer than just writing the blog yourself, you might want to skip those services. Basic grammar problems. The most basic, rudimentary thing to remember about writing your blogs is that you need to have proper grammar and spelling. You don't have to go crazy with figurative language or use unnecessary advanced techniques, but there's nothing less impressive than having a simple spelling mistake in a blog. This is especially damaging when you're writing about something intellectual like biology, architecture, or grammar. Chapter 7, Sponsorship and Research. Blog sponsorships are continuously becoming a trend online. It is because an increasing number of businesses have noticed the power of blog as an extension of their marketing campaign. Under blog sponsorship, you are going to work closely with your advertiser and actively promote their product and service in your blog post. Moreover, your blog will also carry advertiser's brand name and company logo. By the way, you can close a sponsorship deal by separating a section on your blog that is solely for promoting your sponsored product. Such kind of blog advertising works very well if your blog is already very popular and has a lot of visitors who comes to your site regularly. Another way to find blog advertising opportunities is by using keyword research. Keyword research is not only for affiliate marketing, but also it can be used in finding blog advertisers. Here is the process. Start by doing a search based on the main keyword you are currently targeting in your blog. See if there are any ads that is currently posted under this keyword. If yes, find out those companies based on the website URL. Contact them and see if they are interested in advertising on your blog. Exchange links. Other blogs that exchange links with you before may be also a potential advertiser. It is because if they find your blog and exchange links with you, chances are that they find your blog that is full of potential so that they want to exchange link with you. Therefore, you can send them an email and ask if they are interested in posting ads to your blog. Determine your price. Before you get any actual advertisers, you may want to think about your prices will be like. Unfortunately, there are no standard pricing structures across the internet. You will need to take a look around, do some research, and experiment on your own site to find the rates that will maximize your revenues. The thing to keep in mind is that your overall popularity will ultimately determine how much your blog is worth to advertisers. If you're getting in thousands of viewers a day and potentially hundreds of clicks, you're worth quite a lot. If your site gets only a few hundred viewers a day, then you'll want to drastically reduce your prices to match. A potential sponsor or advertiser will want to see some returns for the money he will be spending on your site, and this can be seen as visibility, impressions, and leads, clicks, and possible sales. Make sure, therefore, that your advertising deals will deliver. There are some pretty cheap advertising options out there, e.g., Google AdWords, and you will need to be competitive. If you reserved a good spot for the sponsors, sidebar, or header, you could start charging a 50-cent CPM. More on this in the next section. If your blog is generating 100,000 monthly page views, a banner spot on your sidebar should cost around $50. Start low and build your way upwards. Popular blogs have a higher CPM, sometimes as high as $10, but that type of pricing requires a lot of credibility. Flexibility is key. First of all, make advertising agreements on a month-to-month basis. People don't like to commit to something they are not completely sure about. If someone proposes you a longer deal, offer a discount in exchange. Unless you have a very popular website, you will find potential advertisers reluctant to spend real money. If you are confident that the deal will create value for both parties, however, you can use that on your favor. Offer a free test period whenever needed. Some of the times the advertiser will turn you down after it, but other times they will confirm the deal. Either way, you have nothing to lose. Here are some methods that you can use to draw an initial price tag, and some specific places where you can look to cross-check the numbers. Below, we will cover them. Determine the CPM. The cost of advertising depends on the traffic of your website. Let's say there are two websites charging different rates for banner ads. Blog A is charging $200 a month for a small ad, and Blog B is charging $300 a month for the same sized ad. Which one is the better deal? Well, given that information alone, we can't really say. If both blogs get about the same traffic, then Blog A is a better deal. If Blog B gets significantly more traffic than Blog A, then Blog B might be the best deal. The increased traffic might just offset the cost, and make it a worthy investment. Companies pay small fortunes to advertise on big-hitter websites like Google, Yahoo, AOL, and Facebook. The reason these companies are willing to pay is because the traffic for those websites is so immense that they get a lot more clicks, and their revenue from purchases exceeds their cost of advertising. Several standards could be used to define traffic, from unique visitors to visits and page views. Most publishers tend to use page views, though. Moreover, it is a common practice to measure page views by the thousands, so one should talk about cost per 1,000 page views or impressions. CPM is the term for that, and it stands for cost per mil being the Latin word for 1,000. If we plug this into that example and say that blog A had 2,000 views a month while blog B had 12,000 views a month, you'd find out that blog A has a CPM of $100, whereas blog B has a CPM of $40. That means that the more expensive blog is a far greater value because it gets 6 times as much traffic, but doesn't cost 6 times as much. This doesn't necessarily mean that you should tie your ad rates to the number of monthly impressions of your blog. Offering a flat monthly rate to advertisers are usually the best way to go. Advertisers like stability and will be reluctant to sign up for something that may become unexpectedly expensive. Keep the CPM numbers in mind because they will enable you to compare your prices with those of other bloggers, and they'll allow you to set your initial prices. Cross-check for accuracy. You can easily check if you are charging a suitable rate by using AdSense units on the places where you will sell direct advertising. Analyze how much you would gain with AdSense and adjust your rates accordingly. Secondly, you can also check similar sites that are already selling direct ads. Research other bloggers. The internet behaves like a giant marketplace, and all websites are subject to the laws of supply and demand. In other words, if you set a price that is significantly higher than the one used by other blogs on your niche, the advertisers will use other websites with more competitive rates. The first thing you should do, therefore, is to take a look on blogs that sell advertising space to evaluate what rates they are asking. The format of the ad, e.g., 468 times 60, 120 times 600, 125 times 125, and the position, e.g., header, sidebar, footer, blended with content, are factors that will directly influence the final price. So in order to be consistent throughout your research, you should pick a format and position that is popular. For example, don't compare footer ad prices with sidebar ad prices or prices for differently sized ads. 120 x 600 vs. 125 x 125, etc. Among blogs selling direct advertising space, the 125 times 125 button ad on top of the sidebar is arguably the most used format, and it should fit our research purpose. Let's see what popular blogs on the online marketing sphere are charging. For instance, if you visit the advertising page of Copyblogger, you will find that the blog generates over 1,000,000 monthly page views, and a 125 times 125 spot on the sidebar costs $1,500. Divide $1,500 by 1,000. Remember that 1,000,000 is equal to 1,000 times 1,000 page views, and you get a CPM of $1.50. Similarly, if you visit John Chow, you will find that the 125 times 125 button ad costs $500 monthly, and the blog generates 300,000 page views. Again, just do $500 divided by 300, and you get a CPM of $1.66. As you can see, a CPM of $1.5 for the 125 times 125 buttons is a good average. Even TechCrunch charges a similar rate, $10,000 for 5 million page views monthly, converting to a CPM of $1.53. So let's keep that number as a starting point, adapting to your own situation. All the blogs mentioned are viewed as authorities on their niche, which affects how much advertisers are willing to pay to get exposed to their audiences. If your blog is new, or if you are just beginning to experiment with direct advertising, therefore, you probably should start with a lower CPM. Start asking $0.05 CPM, for example, and as your blog grows and more advertisers come along, you can gradually raise it. If you have a blog generating 100,000 monthly page views, this would translate into $50 monthly for each 125 times 125 button placed on your sidebar. If you are going to use other ad formats or position the ads on other locations of your website, just estimate how these factors will affect the traffic that an advertiser will end up getting. Placing a 300 times 250 banner on the sidebar, for instance, is similar to having 4 125 times 125 ads. So you could charge 4 times the price of the 125 times 125 ad, $200 monthly, if your blog generates 100,000 impressions, converting to $2 CPM. Similarly, increase the CPM if the ad is on the header or blended with the content, and decrease it if the ad will be displayed below the fold or on the footer. Keep in mind that you should consider real page views for these evaluations. Most web stats programs and software tend to overestimate the traffic on your site. Google Analytics is usually the most reliable one. Experiment in order to cross-check the numbers with an external source. You could join an advertising network, either CPC-based like Google AdSense or CPM-based, and use it on the spots where you plan to sell direct advertising. If you are planning to sell a 300 times 250 banner spot below your posts, for instance, you could firstly put a Google AdSense unit there and measure the CPM that it will give. Most direct advertising deals should bring you more money than what advertising networks do, mainly because you are cutting out the commissions and negotiating directly with the advertisers. The most important thing is to constantly test and experiment with what works. You're not likely going to get blacklisted for having slightly high prices, so if you find that your prices aren't drawing in advertisers, you can reduce them. A conclusion: when it comes to continuing to build your blog's value through consistent traffic and activity, you need to dedicate the time, initially, to creating the most interactive community you can. Becoming a pro blogger is an enjoyable and lucrative experience. If you put in the time and commitment it takes to build a brand and consistently engage your visitors with fresh, relevant, and informative content. Even if you are unable to establish a schedule or routine where you are able to effectively update your blog frequently, you can outsource the majority of the content creation at affordable rates, and then plug in content so that it automatically updates on scheduled dates. Another feature with WordPress that will make it significantly easier to properly manage and maintain as many blogs as you create. Spend time learning about the different functions of your blog and work towards building a dynamic community of targeted visitors who will subscribe to your feeds. Join your newsletters and help make monetizing your blog even easier. Blogging is something that you can do even with limited time. You just need to focus on creating a schedule that will work for you. Keep your blog current, updated, and on track, and before you know it, you will be able to make money with every post. Then, simply rinse and repeat the process to create your very own highly profitable blog network. To your blogging adventure.